Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back to watch another video or your first video. I'm super glad you are here. In my first video, I went through a bunch of questions that people have asked me throughout my travels around the country. And the questions were all over the place. Aliens, we talked about a bunch of other things. What I'm gonna do in this video, instead of answering a bunch of different questions, I'm just gonna answer one question in depth. I'm gonna answer the most consistent question I get no matter where I am, no matter what the group is. Everyone wants to know this one question. The number one question people ask me everywhere is, what is your favorite color? This question is so annoying. Does this even matter? Have you ever heard someone's favorite color and been like, I think I understand you more now. I see you in a different light. But I do like a dark green. I also really love the color maroon, a deep, rich red. I don't like them together like Christmassy, but I like a maroon shirt or like a green shirt separate. But the second most common question that I get is two parts. The first part is, Maggie, how did you become a professional speaker? And how can I become a professional speaker? So I'll start a little bit with my background. I was a super articulate kid growing up. I love to talk, I love to communicate, I love to make up words. I grew up reading all the time, drawing comics, just loved stories, and I loved sharing stories. When I got into middle school, I was class president, not because I could do anything for the students of my class. I gave a really hilarious speech and everyone voted for me, and that's what people thought was worthy enough for me to become president. When I was in high school, I started getting involved in my local youth group. When I was an upperclassman, my youth ministers and core members started giving me opportunities to speak. I remember giving talks on retreats when I was a senior. I remember giving a talk to other adult members to encourage them to volunteer. Then I went to college and I studied English because I loved stories and I loved writing stories and hearing stories. In my summers in between years in college, I went to Life Teen Summer Camp. Life Teen is a fantastic Catholic organization. Their mission is to lead teens closer to Christ. They do that in a variety of ways. They have a couple summer camps. So as a college student, I worked there as a camp counselor, what they call summer missionary. And I got great exposure into youth ministry, into sharing the faith and interacting with people under a setting of church ministry. My junior year in college, I dropped my English major and I started studying catechetics, which is how to teach the faith. It's similar to evangelization. It goes deeper into formation. One of my summers working with Life Teen, I worked there for 4 summers in college. One summer, they asked me, would I like to give a women's talk to the middle school students? And I said, absolutely, I would love to. That year in college, in a class, my project for the class was to give a women's session. So I've been working that whole school year, praying and preparing. I gave that women's talk. I gave it for 13 weeks that summer. It went great. It was super fun. It was a non-traditional women's session. It was all about like smashing stereotypes and focusing on truth, and it went super well. From that, I started getting invited to speak across the country because many different churches and youth groups came to Life Teen camps from across the country. The following summer, Life Teen asked me to give that same talk, but to their high school camp, to hundreds of more girls. And it went incredibly well, and I gave it like 13, 14 times that summer. And the next year I went to get my master's in theology at Franciscan University of Steubenville. At that point, I was getting invited quite consistently to travel to different places to speak. When I graduated with my master's degree, I decided to speak full time. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I've been doing it ever since for just about 3.5 years full time. So that's how I became a speaker. It was never something I dreamed about. It was never something I hoped for. It just sort of happened. God opened doors for me, but I was in the right place to walk through those doors. So that is how I, Maggie Craig, became a speaker. Now, the next question that people really want to know is, how can I become a speaker? I think the better question to ask is, how can I love and serve God's church? Because if you're baptized, you are called to love God and His church and to spread His message. Can it be in a professional setting? Sure. Can it be in a non-professional setting? Most likely. That is what most people do. Most people in a non-professional setting love and serve God's church as they're a mother or a father or a teacher or a nurse or a police officer. Not everyone is called to love and serve God's church in a professional capacity. First thing I would do is to pray. I know this seems obvious or duh, but I think it's really important to ask God, what are you calling me to do in my life? How are you calling me to use my gifts and talents? My gifts and talents were storytelling, articulation, humor, and all those work great with my job now as a professional speaker. Ask God, what are my gifts? What are my talents? How are you leading me? God will make a way for you if this is what He's calling you to do. If you think maybe you are called to serve God, to serve the church in a professional capacity, great. Try it out. Get involved. If you're a high school student and you're really interested in youth ministry, get involved at the youth ministry at your church. Ask your youth minister if you can be their intern during the school year or the summer, or ask if you could lead a Bible study, or maybe go to your director of religious education and say, I would love to be in charge of Vacation Bible School this year. Can I have this responsibility? If you try it out, working for the church in a professional setting, and you realize, this is not for me, that is fine, that's okay. Go to college, get your degree, study and learn. You do not have to love and serve God's church in a formalized way. If you start working in youth ministry or working at your campus ministry in high school, you're like, I love this, let's keep going. Know the risks. Working for the church is exhausting. You don't work a lot of normal hours. You don't get paid a lot of money. If you have a lot of debt, if you have medical bills, if you have family concerns, like if you're supporting your family, that is something that you have to be aware of, that you might not make a lot of money. But if you're still like, no, that's fine, I still want to work for the church, I know the risk, get your degree in something that will help you do your job. If you don't get the training, it's really hard to do your job. Get your degree from a trusted university. I went to Franciscan University of Steubenville. Go to Benedictine College, go to St. Leo, go to Christendom. I really encourage you not to pursue a degree in religious studies. The difference between religious studies and theology, and you want to focus more on theology. It's important to learn about world religions, but what's more important, if you want to serve the church in a professional capacity, to know more about your religion than you know about Hinduism or Buddhism. If for whatever reason you can't get your degree, you're past college time, or your family won't let you, get some sort of qualification, get some sort of training, get some sort of certificate, and then get involved into current active ministries. Get involved with Life Team, like I did. Get involved with St. Paul's Outreach or Focus. Work at a Catholic summer camp at the Summer and College. Work at the Pines, fantastic place. Get involved with ministry as much as you can. But Maggie, this is all great, but how do I speak professionally? This is the thing. Every speaker that I know, it kind of just happened for them. They were in the right place, they were in the right time, they were already loving and serving the church in one way or another, and God made this happen. And remember to always take this to prayer. Always ask God, always come before the Father asking Jesus, God, how can I love and serve your flock? How can I better receive your love, and how can I share that love with other people? Jesus says in the scriptures, without me, you can do nothing. And that's true on every level of life. Remain close to Jesus. Share with him the desires of your heart, and he will make a way for you. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you soon.